What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Josh out here with Infinite Bass, and today we are out in front of the garage doing a little bit of an upgrade to the boat. As a lot of you know, I run an Ultrex, I run Humminbird graphs, and as a lot of you know, they just recently released the Mega 360 unit for the boat. And yes, that's what we're here today for. I finally got one, picked one up, and this is what we're going to be installing today. I've already got the boat kind of tore apart a little bit to kind of make this process a little bit easier. Yeah, let me throw you guys on my chest and let's get this process started. I've yet to open the box yet. I don't know what the contents are. I don't know what it looks like inside of there, so we're gonna get right at that. Let's get this box open. Pretty simple packaging here. Alright, what do we got? So I'm assuming this is the mount to mount the baby to the Ultrex. Got some cords. Let's look at the instructions. Not sure where this one goes, but we'll see here in a little while. This would be our adapter cable to run this to the graphs. Okay, so this must be the one that pops out of the top of the head here. Right, set that aside, set that aside, set that aside. Let's see what we got here. Instructions, because you know instructions are very important. Let's pop those to the side. All of our parts and pieces here. Another cord, power cord, so I'll have to find a place under there to hook this thing up to. Be pretty easy. Pull the rest of this out. And this is the 360 unit itself. Pretty simple looking. Set that gently down. Another box on the bottom. And that's the other half of the mount to mount that to the Ultrex. So let me grab some tools and kind of piece this stuff together, and we'll get on top of the boat. This kind of set up a little bit. Pre-fit it before we Loctite everything. Grab a extension. Alright, so the next step is going to be putting the actual transducer on the mount. So we will take this. As you can see with the shape of this thing, there's a front and a back. I think this way goes front, so like the water goes around it like that. So we'll go ahead, turn this other camera on. Go ahead and feed these cables through. That rubber's kind of stopping us. There we go. All right, so the main thing you guys want to be concerned about when you're installing these things is that this straight up and down, and then you want the bottom of this to be at least 1 inch away from the top of the prop. So the gap in between the prop and the transducer you want to be at least 1 inch, so your prop clears it anytime this thing rotates around when you've got it in the water. So right there seems to be good. Go ahead and put these set screws in and get this thing tight. Well, kind of tight, just enough to hold it anyway. Alright guys, on to the next step. So in that bag you've got a bunch of screws and these little half moon blocks. And if you look on your Ultrex, you've got a little groove, that cable groove. So what this thing does is prevents you from raising your trolling motor height and running your propeller into the bottom of your 360 unit. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this block, you're going to set it right in that groove, and then put the clip around it. And then if you look, your blocks are cut out for the nuts, so your nut will sit right inside of there. Now after I throw it across the driveway, let's put the other one in there for now. Feed a screw into there. Just throwing everything. A little bit of pressure on that side. You don't want to tighten it all the way because then that'll throw off the back one. Put that other screw in the other side. So like I said, this will prevent you guys from raising your trolling motors and killing the bottom of your 360. This is going to take a minute, small increments here, but turn the camera off, and once I get this installed, we'll turn it back on to the next step. Alright guys, we're back. Ran into a little bit of an issue. So what I'm trying to do with this thing is be able to hook my Mega imaging transducer up, which I have mounted here on the bottom of the trolling motor. Yes, it has a built-in US2, which it's kind of not, well, it's not kind of, it isn't as good as the Mega imaging and the Mega imaging 360 unit to the same graph at the same time. Well, to do that, you have to have a certain Y cable that will allow you to split both signals and plug it into the same port on the bottom of the graph. Well, the one they gave me was the wrong one, and everybody else is out of stock on these things. But luckily, I did my homework a little bit ahead of schedule, and I ended up finding one which I need to check tracking on. It shipped 2 days ago, so it probably should be here in the next day or two to be able to do that split. Yeah, so right now we're just going to hook it up to power and hook the 360 unit straight into the back of the graph, which means we won't have Mega down imaging and sonar on the front of the boat, but that's okay. We'll just rock the 360, and that'll force us to learn this thing a lot faster than if we had all three of them together. But we'll have all three in the next day or two. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing plugged up and put back together, zip tied up. I went ahead and put my connectors on my power cable. I'm gonna plug those up here in the bow of the boat and get this thing all put back together and fire this thing up. And tomorrow we will see you guys on the water with it and get some first looks on it. What's up, guys? We are finally out here on the water with that new 360 you guys watched us install in the driveway the other day. Had a little bit of a mix up with the Y cables and everything, but we've got that all straightened out. We've got it all in. It's all hooked up. We are out here on the water doing these tests. For all you guys who don't have the Y cable, you can still use your 360s. You just don't get your feet and your water temp. So you don't get water depth and you don't get temp without it. So you're going to need that if that's the things you want to see. But there is a way to tell how much water you're in without the Y cable. So looking at this, we are sitting in 14 feet of water. It's 63.5 degrees, 8 o'clock. Just like you see on your side imaging, you'll get your boat icon and then you'll get the black area. This black area here is the water that's in between you and the ground. So if you take your feet and rings away, so you'll get all your range rings. So right now I've got my range set at 85 feet. So all of my rings are 21.2 feet away from me. So if you look at where your boat is, look at where your water depth ring is, and then where your actual range ring is, you can kind of guesstimate in about how much water you're in. So our first ring is 21.2 feet away from us, and then our water depth ring is a little more than halfway. So, you know, you could say that you're in 14, 15, 16 foot of water. It's not going to be an exact, but it'll give you more of an idea of what type of depth you're in. This area that we're in is pretty much a structureless, smooth bottom, except for these few trees that you see out here. And on the 360, you'll see that tree right here is about, I'd say, a good 30 feet. Yeah, probably about 30 feet away from us. And you can kind of see it there, but the main thing you're seeing off of it is the shadow. So like you got this black streak here, that's the shadow. You got those trees right over here, that'll be these guys, and you can see it cast the shadows off of those. So it's kind of a little bit different to look at compared to some of your other stuff that we're used to seeing, like your down image and your sonar. You can run all of this stuff together once you get that Y cable. But you guys can hop in there, and let's go back to the regular. But one of the cool things about it, right now I've got this in front view. You can go back and go back to the regular 360 view, and that gives you the full 360 sweep of your whole 360 unit there. Go back to menu. You can do front like I had it. You can do rear, which looks at just at the rear part of the 360. You can focus on left side, focus on right side, depending on the areas you're in. And seeing, like right now, we're getting that shadow. This thing's directly to the right. It's because that tree is now directly to the right of us. So you got the tree right there, and then you got the shadow from the sonar being shadowed out there. One of the ways that I like to run it is front view here. But simple as that, guys. I mean, there's not much else really to show you. I mean, if you guys have any questions, let me know, post them down in the comments, and I will specifically go into whatever you guys want to see. Of course, you've got all the different colors that you can throw it in, which that's actually really nice. Ooh, can't see nothing on those. You know, everybody likes a different color pattern there. I always run mine on 2. You can change the sweep area. So if you only wanted to look in front of the boat, you could change it there. You can go all the way just to one side you can focus on. And when you select this, it doesn't do a full circle. So let's go ahead and set that area there. You'll get that front sweep, and then it pings back. I don't know what that beeping is. Something on the bank. See, it resets and then goes back the opposite way. So that's one cool thing that you can do with that. Go ahead and resume full sweep. And it puts me right back in my front view after it prepares the pod back to that setting. And we're back on our front view. All right, guys, well, we are going to end this video here. If you guys have any questions, just drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. And if it's not something that I can answer in the garage showing you guys how to work this thing, we'll come back out on the water and answer those questions out here. Catch you guys on the next one.